Look at this athlete. The explosion, the vertical leap, perfect mechanics. None of it matters if a piece of paper is missing. The Utah High School Activities Association, or UHSAA, defines eligibility as a specific administrative status that requires ongoing certification. Simply being enrolled in a school does not grant a student the right to compete. Families spend years on private coaching and travel tournaments only to see their child benched by a missed digital signature or a technicality. The UHSAA rules apply differently based on a student's situation. You must identify your path on this flowchart: the returning student, the transfer, or the club athlete. We'll map the requirements for each branch so you can clear the hurdles before the season begins. Connecting your student's situation to the correct rule set helps avoid losing playing time to a preventable paperwork error. Let's start with the baseline branch, the standard returning student athlete. Your first major hurdle is entirely digital. Utah schools use a central registration system called Activate, formerly known as Register My Athlete. This is the digital gateway where school principals legally certify that a student is cleared for the roster. The system has zero tolerance for incomplete files. Missing a single uploaded physical form or a parent signature will halt your athlete's ability to step on the practice field. Once the paperwork is cleared, the academic scrutiny begins. Utah enforces scholastic standards on a rolling, continuous basis throughout the school year, rather than waiting for final report cards. The UHSAA rule states a student must maintain at least a 2.0 GPA and cannot fail more than one subject. This timeline illustrates exactly how the preceding grading period rule works. If a student's grades dip below that 2.0 line during one term, their eligibility is immediately cut off for the next one. Coasting until final exams does not work in Utah. For the baseline athlete, the price of admission is year-round academic vigilance. In this system, sports are treated as an extension of the classroom. Now look at the second branch, the new transfer student. This is the most scrutinized area of Utah sports eligibility. Families often assume that because their child was eligible at their old high school, that status automatically carries over to the new one. It doesn't. Enrolling in a new school triggers a mandatory administrative review, conducted by both the school and the UHSAA. While families want to join the team immediately, a formal review often leads to weeks of processing time and uncertainty before a student is cleared to compete. To manage this, families must proactively self-report. You should schedule a meeting with the new school's athletic director well before tryouts to begin the formal review process. For transfer families, the process relies on full disclosure. Attempting to hide a student's previous enrollment history will result in disqualification and forfeited games later in the season. Look at this player weaving through traffic. This represents our final branch, the athlete deeply invested in club or recreational leagues outside of school. For these athletes, the most restrictive compliance hurdle is the limited team membership rule. This rule goes into effect the moment the high school sport reaches its official competition start date. Look at this matrix. Once the high school season begins, students are strictly barred from competing on any outside or club team in that same sport. Violating this matrix results in the immediate loss of all high school eligibility for that sport. Dual competitors must choose between year-round club development and representing their high school. Under current rules, they cannot do both. Zooming out to look at the overall Utah high school sports framework, we can see that while these rules are strict, they are predictable. The UHSAA system is designed to ensure families prioritize the student portion of the student-athlete equation. To navigate this successfully, you need a clear action plan. Standard returning students must build a habit of monitoring their grades every term, rather than waiting for the semester to end. Transfer families must initiate early contact with local school administration to stay ahead of the review timeline. Club athletes must weigh their long-term development goals against the mandatory pause in outside competition required by the school season. We've compiled these steps into this scorecard, the Utah Parents Preseason Audit. It serves as your primary defense against eligibility issues. First, ensure your Activate account is finalized with all required signatures. Second, verify the previous grading period's GPA is above a 2.0 with no more than one failed class. The final two boxes depend on your profile. If you are a transfer student, confirm your meeting with the athletic director. If you are a club athlete, notify your coaches of the high school blackout dates. By identifying your specific profile and treating the paperwork with the same intensity as your training, you can avoid bureaucratic surprises. That keeps the focus exactly where it belongs, on the competition and the team.